This is it. This is Sundays.
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
I am Realstonned.
I'm Bitchin' Becky. Very weird to say that, but
You'll notice why eventually.
can't fight that.
All right.
Cannot fight that.
So
We're not dazed yet.
we're not sponsored or anything by them, but we decided to
But we
smoke
can
a
be.
Cubano while we do our podcasts.
Do you want to light that up and then we can start
I thought I brought a scale, but I honestly can't find it.
to see how much it actually weighs?
Yeah, but I honestly
Our people
No, I
that
think
are
it's
not
under there,
called
Jamie.
Jamie.
we could weigh an empty one and see what the difference is.
Come on, we have to do
Yeah.
this professionally.
Let's do this the real way. Not 7 grams.
How much are we at?
I don't know how Burner is stuffing these. Because in this song, he said it holds.
Technically, if you didn't twist off the
I
ends,
guess-
you probably could
But
do a
that
full
wouldn't.
7.
That wouldn't. I don't. That's not that much flour though. I got 5.7 grams.
I mean, okay, so it's not a full 7.
It's not a full 7. It's not even a full
It's
6.
5.7?
5.7.
Okay. A 5-gram joint, we'll call it.
Yeah.
We don't like to lie. We might bullshit, but we don't like to lie. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie's gonna help us light this.
He's actually getting himself lit.
Oh,
Yes.
fucking Jamie. You know, you ask for help, you don't pay them cash or anything, and this is the result that you get.
Showed up talking about paid. I'm not even getting paid for this.
I'm not getting paid for this. I mean, I'm getting high, which is great, and that's a form of payment in my opinion. We should all get more high more often, but...
I told my dad about the podcast today.
And?
I sent him a picture of the joint. He gave the frowning emoji on the picture of the
A
joint.
frowning emoji?
Yeah, I told him I'm trying to smoke only 1 joint a day now.
I mean, that could be a topic all in itself too, parents and cannabis. I think it depends on the generation, and maybe not even the generation, because there are a lot of people that are around our parents' age that are pro-cannabis and that fucking use it more than we do.
I mean, my dad is, he's been using CBD for a while now, but
Yeah.
he's still kind of frowning upon smoking. My dad's, what do we call that, great uncle? Uncle.
Your
No, that would-
grandmother's brother?
That would be my dad's uncle. He died from smoking. He died of lung disease, cancer. So my family frowns against anything, smoking anything.
I'm already getting high. This is gonna be bad.
This is tasty stuff. This is the Gee Whiz mixed with wedding cake by Sacred Gardens.
Obviously, we like our cannabis, and
We like it non-regulated.
yeah, just personal preference, you know? The really, really cool thing, actually, this is a great shout out for him. I have no idea if we're going to be able to tag him because his social media right now is...
He's actually, he reported himself on Instagram to see what would happen.
So he actually donates $6 from each bag that he sells towards healing with psychedelics.
Helping people
He's an awesome dude.
with addictions.
One day we'll meet him. One day.
Yeah.
I'm manifesting. But that could lead us into our first question that a bunch of people asked us was, I don't know if you caught it. I might repost it just to refresh people's memories, but I did like a little meet the team thing on Insta stories. For YouTube people, you wouldn't have seen it, but it was basically like a picture and then a couple of things about us. So our favorite psychedelic, we both picked mushrooms. And I had a couple of
You
people.
as well.
Yeah, I did. Did you even look at it?
Yeah,
Anywho,
but I was smoking.
but you were stoned. I know. But so we put mushrooms as our favorite psychedelic for both of us. To be fair, it is the only psychedelic I've tried. Right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've never tried anything else other than that.
She has microdosed DMT.
Oh,
I
technically,
was a
yeah.
witness to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody who hasn't done DMT, it tastes a little bit different.
Like shit. Personally.
Like
Don't take
nature.
my word. Well, okay, yeah, we'll say like shitty
Like
nature. Like
No,
dirt.
I wouldn't say, there you go, like dirt.
Yeah. I actually microdose now mushrooms. I can't remember how many grams is in each capsule that I take. We went through this, but stoner brain.
I think it's not very much in the capsule. It's maybe I think 0.2 of a gram.
And that's been fucking awesome. I've also taken higher doses of it. I think the highest I've only taken is 2 grams.
I think 2.5 even,
Yeah.
maybe.
And it was awesome. Like, to me, everyone always says that you kind of learn something about yourself, or the mushrooms teach you something that you weren't really sure you needed to learn, or there's a journey with it, whatever way you want to say it. And New Year's Day, we woke up early. We planned our whole day, and he was like my trip guide, you would say?
I think I ended up getting high too. I wasn't sober.
Yeah, but you
But I
took
took a
like less of a
moderate
dose
dose.
than you normally
Yeah,
would.
I
Yeah,
took a moderate dose.
less. Like, yeah, I haven't yet had a bad trip, but I think mentally I'm prepared for like. It would suck going through a bad trip, but coming out of it, I don't think I would be discouraged from doing mushrooms again because I really go into it as like a ceremonial thing, not just let's get high. I was never really about that type of life. I'm more like, if this is gonna make me better, let's fucking do it.
Parents are gonna be watching this most likely. But mushrooms for me is like that old friend from high school. You know what I mean? I've been experimenting with mushrooms now for, I want to say, more years than I've been on this world. And it started in high school. You know, it started from my parents would go out. I would go eat some mushrooms and chill out in the house and stuff. For me, mushrooms is like, you know, it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but at the same time, it is also a soft, enjoyable ride. And I've done salvia, I've done mushrooms, I've done acid, I've done DMT. I think that's all the psychedelics I've done. And sorry, mom and dad. So, but I mean, half of those you did find in my room, so big surprise. But I do think that mushrooms is like the most enjoyable experience out of them all. That you can kind of go at your own pace at certain doses, whereas everything else, when you get to bigger doses, it can be very hard to kind of still be functional, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And take back things back from your trip.
So, a topic people wanted to talk about, or us to talk about, was masks, face coverings.
We're going straight to that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because as I get higher, I'm not going to be able to talk much more. So
Okay.
I'm leaving the one that you need to answer for you. For masks, are you pro, anti? What is your take on masks?
Well, here they made it legal so that you got to
Yeah.
wear them everywhere you go.
Oh, Jamie pulled up a video. Okay.
Why don't you people educate yourselves? How am I doing? Am I pretty cute?
You're really close.
Are you afraid? You should run away.
I don't like
But
how
you
close
have your
are.
super mask on.
I'm trying to protect you.
I don't need protection from you.
Oh, you just touched me.
Oh
I wish you
no, I touched you. I'm gonna get COVID.
She's so super
you're
dramatic.
probably going to get
I assume they're kicking her out of the store
I
for not wearing a mask.
This is in Calgary? I mean, she's an extremist, is what I would define her. But I do agree with some of the things she's saying. I just think there's a setting for how you want to say this so that it's not taken the way someone would watch this and take it. Because I agree, like, she's very dramatic.
Don't make a scene. Don't
But-
waste the employees' time. Go to the legal weed store and buy yourself an overpriced bag of weed, an overpriced unsealed jar of weed, and enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Like, take the edge off. That's somebody right there that needs a mushroom trip. I know you're about the micro dose, but sometimes
No,
somebody
I
needs a
agree.
macro dose. She needs ego death, man.
But
she just needs to,
Do you
to chill the
agree
hell out.
that some of what she's saying, if she was saying it in a different context, would actually be valid?
It's a very tready line, I mean, a lot of people are like really, really, really paranoid now with this COVID thing. And then a lot of people are still really, really relaxed. I think the numbers are kind of like inflated. I think there is something going on, but I think the media is really going for a story.
Any
to scare
major news outlet right now, the topic of discussion is always COVID. COVID, COVID, COVID. You eat, sleep, breathe, take a shit and take a piss with COVID is all that we are being told right now we have to think about. You look at how like this whole year has been such a big shift worldwide with this pandemic, or as some say, plan-demic. There comes a time where everyone needs to sit down and be like, okay, are all these conspiracy theories really just conspiracy theories? Or if I do some digging, are some of them actually valid facts that are not displayed on our television set or on our mobile devices, and therefore we don't believe it? Why do we so quickly believe what they on media say?
We've been taught as kids.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I was in class when one of the buildings got hit,
Yep.
and when the first
Yeah,
one
we're
got
at that
hit.
age we would
And
be
they
in
put
school.
they like rounded us all up into the gymnasium.
Into an assembly. Yep.
And they pulled out a TV and they showed us all at school what was going on the news. and during an assembly, and it's just like we're taught as a young kid, just watch the news and just, you know, I mean, like, it's good to watch the news at the same time, but see, that's why the internet's good and bad. It's such a double-edged sword, because you got trolls on the internet that are just out there
Yeah.
purposely saying the wrong
Trying
thing.
to mess with people.
And there's people believing that stuff too.
Yeah.
And then you got like places like The Onion that are like farce news, and then you got people who are legitimately believing those news articles when you post them on Facebook, and that can be a problem, you know. Then you got people going around spreading completely the wrong information.
My opinion is it's all based on fear. We are taught since we're young to have fear.
For me personally, I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
If I myself was to go to like somewhere where I know there's sick people, I definitely want to be concerned, or where there's so many people. I think, you know, we got to think about the people who are working right now with the mask on all day.
24/7, yep.
You know, well, nobody works 24/7, but
I do believe that
deny me that.
COVID is something you can contract, okay? I'm going to make my statement with this. COVID is another variation, to my knowledge, of the flu. So therefore, you can catch the flu at any time from anyone. People that are immune compromised, we have some good friends that are. I need to be respectful and thoughtful of that, and I need to be proactive with making sure they stay safe, and in return, I stay safe. Masks should be used in certain settings. Abso-fucking-lutely. There's a time and a place for fucking anything. But I don't think mandating certain things that they're mandating is effective in dealing with COVID.
I don't know. I
But-
mean, I get you. There's some countries that didn't really do any kind of social distancing protocols, or enforcing quarantine. Some of their numbers actually went down.
It's just really unfortunate that we're not all coming together to find a proper solution. It's very like the whole world is in it together. The vibe is, oh, the whole world's in this together because it's a worldwide pandemic. However, we're not really in this together because everyone's views are so different from it. Like, you would think that the World Health Organization, I'll call them out on it, would have their shit together when it comes down to numbers of people infected, and like they are advertising as being the know-all of all when it comes to COVID, and they have time and time again been proven wrong.
Yeah,
no one's perfect at the end of the day, so no one's going to have the right or wrong answer for every fucking thing, but don't advertise that you do and tell us how to live our lives unless you are certain that it's going to actively help. So I think at the end of it, we are pro masks when it is appropriate. Obviously, we have an opinion on when we think it's appropriate. I'll speak for myself. I don't know how he feels about this, but I just wish people would try their best not to, like this lady that had that blow up in that store. If you really want to teach people and you really want to show people that there's a difference and that the truth is out there, do it positively. Don't do it by being dramatic and being kicked out of a store. And
Yeah, I mean, like, yelling at employees of a store isn't going to do anything.
yeah, lead by
Change
example is what I'm trying to say. Like, you want to show people that there is a better way, then show them there's a better way. Don't just fucking say it. Actions speak
Yeah.
louder than words, and her actions were bad.
I know somebody else wanted to talk about our Prime Minister. How about the fact that our Prime Minister is under house arrest again for misusing public funds? His father is rolling in his tomb. This is from old Jeff A.
So that was a very interesting comment because I did not know that was taking place.
I personally didn't look into it, but I could say that that'd be a messed up situation. Our country's being led by a high school drama teacher
He's great at speeches, though.
because he's a drama teacher.
Exactly, yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody wanted to vote him in because he was like, I'm going to legalize weed. So all these young people were like, you know, I'm going to vote and stuff like that. I'll say this. At the time, the liberals, being Trudeau, were saying they were going to legalize weed.
Yeah.
The NDP were saying they were going to decriminalize weed. Which meant you wouldn't go to jail for it. That's a big difference, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of countries that are leading the way for that too. Portugal, they decriminalized years ago, I don't know the exact number, but they've had major success with rehabilitating people and like turning people's lives around because they're not punishing you for something that potentially you don't have as much control over that you wish you did. Like but we're talking about like not just like obviously weed, because that's a little chaotic to say about weed. I'm talking like harsh drugs where it ruins people's lives. So I think as a country to do that was a great step. that shows that you're trying to help the people, not just fucking imprison them and leave them to the wolves in a sense. Because
Well, I think at the time too, they had like 1 in 3 men in the population were addicted to heroin. So it was
Wow.
a big problem right at that
yeah,
time.
it was a big issue.
Yeah. So it's like, what do we do? Do we put one in, do we put all these people in jail, or do we just get them help?
Jamie, can you actually look something up for me? Someone shared on social media this week that in the month of August, more people died from mental health issue, like depression, anxiety, than they did of COVID. And when I read that, I was like, this is what we need to focus on, in my opinion, is mental health.
Out of like all the organs that we have, I'd want to say that like the brain is one that they understand the least still.
Yeah,
They're
and
still
it's
doing
the
all
most
work on it.
complex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like mental health is huge in any country. And I do feel like Canada having the resources that we do and the medical professionals, the access to the ones we do, it should be a bigger focus in our healthcare. And it's not. Like seeing a therapist should be covered by your healthcare. 1 session or 2 sessions per month, but at least 1 should be covered.
Found an article on coronavirus and mental health update. It says 3 months into the pandemic. This article specifically refers to America. 3 months into it, we're on the verge of another health crisis with daily doses of death and isolation fear generating widespread psychological trauma. There is a federal emergency hotline for people in emotional distress, and they registered a more than 1,000% increase in April.
Wow.
Roughly
1,000%,
20,000 people texted that hotline, just that one hotline. Online therapy company Talkspace reported a 65% jump in clients since mid-February. And then it talks about how the state's Congress is passing trillions of dollars in coronavirus funding. Only the tiniest amount of that is allocated for mental health, even though it's one of the biggest killers behind COVID.
That's kind of what I read too. And
That's a huge increase, though, man.
my therapist was actually saying, she gave me a heads up to book in advance because she's seeing a lot more bookings now with cold and flu season coming. She literally told me that she finds a lot of people are really stressed out about the kids going back to school, them going back to work, and how cold and flu season is coming. And of course, because COVID is a variation of the flu, I may be wrong on that, but she says she has a spike, like she's booking so much more in advance because people need help.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think my whole moral of bringing this
the
up.
economy too. Everybody's hurting financially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm glad though that there are people out there that recognize they need the help and they go and find it, and they don't let it surpass that bar of I'm okay, and then one day I'm going to kill myself, and they do that. Because that happens all the time.
Yeah. Mental health's the real thing.
Yeah, we don't put enough emphasis on that.
And another thing that really doesn't get discussed is the stress put on healthcare workers.
Yeah.
It says here, a study of 1,300 doctors and nurses in China during that country's coronavirus peak found that half reported depression, 45% reported anxiety, and 34% reported insomnia.
Well, they work crazy shifts, man. That's the
Crazy
crazy thing.
shifts, and
you know what I mean? The
But
people who are like
50% of a whole profession having depression. Like, could you imagine if you said 50% of all pilots out there
have depression.
have
Yeah.
depression? Like, that's a big number.
I get it. People are dying from COVID. It is extremely sad. It's extremely sad when people die of cancer. When people die in general, for the most part, it's always sad. But certain things need to take priority, and I don't think COVID having the spotlight right now is priority. Especially when the whole reason why mental health is declining the way it is because of COVID.
yeah. I mean,
Damn it, I didn't want a
everyone's
COVID episode.
Well, let's
But
change it
it's-
on. Okay, next question.
There's some hopeful news here if you want.
Yes.
It's on COVID though still. Like,
Yeah.
It's about
There
like
you
better news.
We'll
stories.
end
more
COVID on a
positive
good
note.
note. Yeah.
The sudden push into telemedicine will make services more accessible in years to come. So that means
Okay.
that the access to therapy you're talking about eventually
working.
maybe it'll come preloaded on your phone as an app
Yeah.
that you so therapy would be more accessible that
That'd
way.
be great.
There's a nonprofit that offers questionnaires on its website that are widely used in medicine to help people self-screen themselves for mental health problems. And
Cool.
since the pandemic began, those daily screenings have jumped 70%. So more people, because of this pandemic, are looking into their mental health. So maybe in the end, more people will be better
Benefit.
off because they actually
Because they're
look
actually
into
getting help.
themselves
Yeah.
instead of letting these problems go for years.
That's a very valid point, because a lot of people with being under quarantine have evolved in themselves and have been more positive with themselves, whereas normally you wouldn't, because you'd be like rushing to go to work, rushing
Yeah.
to go to school, rushing for the kids, rushing for this. And now it's like, well, you don't have to take them to school, or you don't have to take them to this, and you don't have to go into work. You work from home if you have that possibility. So there's
It's
two
definitely more
sides to it.
flexible now with employers and stuff like that to work
Yeah.
from home.
There has been more empathy towards one another through
Yeah.
COVID.
So on to the next question. This one's from Husky.
Yeah.
What's the best way to tell if your plant's an indica sativa hybrid when growing? I mean, the best way to know would be to look at the pack that you got your seeds in from the breeder, and it will tell you the information right there. Kind of the smart ass way. But you know, every plant will have its own phenos and stuff like that going on. So sativas are tall and lanky, but so are males. So keep that in mind. And then you know, a hybrid will kind of be a mix of short and tall. The indicas are the short ones and bushy. They're not so so leafy. I mean, they're more leafy than the sativas. Sorry, the sativas aren't as leafy. The thickness of your leaves. So thicker leaves is more of an indica trait, and thinner leaves are more of thinner, longer leaves are more of a sativa trait.
How could you
A
determine
hybrid,
a hybrid?
see,
Because it wouldn't
a
just be
hybrid
a
is just
clean
gonna
mix of the
be-
two, would it?
it would just look like a different variation.
I get that.
One that's kind of in the
Because
middle
the one
of
I was
them. You know
growing
what I
for
mean?
a bit, she didn't really look sativa, didn't really look indica. So she was
But
like,
that strain itself is a hybrid.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying because I physically saw it.
All right. So should we like do like a sign off?
Oh, this is a lot of pressure
This is where
now.
the meth comes out.
This is not where the meth comes out.
We do it all in the days.
Well, I want to ask the viewers to definitely comment or message us if they have any questions that they want us to cover or topics that they want us to go over. We should do like a giveaway or something. We should figure that out. But
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever you guys think is a fit giveaway here,
yeah,
just
just hit us up.
just hit us up with what you guys think, and we'll pick one out of the bag, one lucky winner.
Okay, I think we're going to be signing off. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
and listening. I guess some
Thanks
of
for
you
seeing
might
us
just
do
be
it all
listening.
in the days.
Yeah, we
Right.
need to get re-dazed now.
Yeah.
And please, if there's any topic you want us to touch up on, let us know.
Yeah, you follow us on Instagram as well at Sunday's Podcast.
Hmm
That's
And on YouTube. If you want to see us on another platform, let us know too. We're both new at this.
yeah.
We don't even know how well this first episode's going to go. High hopes. But
Always high hopes.
Always high hopes.
Never sober hopes.
No.
All
Yeah.
right. Thanks for watching,
Peace
guys.
out.
Peace out.